Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Brian Nano. Really nice day here in South Florida. Main track is fast. We got the all-weather Tapeta, but put the flags up. We're back on the turf. The turf course is firm. They could see it. Dodging raindrops in the wintertime in Florida, some things you have to do, but good to be back on, and that bodes very well for our two stakes races tomorrow on the grass, sprints on the grass, so it's going to be a fantastic weekend here.
Yeah, including the Grade 3 race, the turf sprint, yes. Tomorrow with Gear Jockey coming back after the Breeders' Cup, so a lot to look forward to. The weather looks like it's going to cooperate. Low 80s finally. We got that chill out of the air a little bit, so a lot going on here.
Brian was brought up in upstate New York where it's 12 degrees even in the summer, and he's complaining about how cold it is down here. I can't believe it. So $600,000 jackpot, gross jackpot guarantee in the Rainbow Six today kicks off race number 4, and just amazed how this thing just grows. When was it? Like a week and a half ago?
Yeah.
We had a mandatory
Sunday.
payout. Yeah, Sunday.
Sunday,
And it's up to $600,000 already. So that's all the early work. We got of course our lightning round a little later on.
Well, you hit it yesterday too. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah. I hit the Rainbow Six yesterday. Yeah, it was pretty formful, but hey, $43 ticket, as you know. Paid $147 or something like that, so it's better than the sharp stick. Yeah, and get some bullets now to play the rest of the week.
There you go.
So race number 1 is 5.5 furlongs on the fast main track. Maiden claiming 3-year-olds, 12-5. Scratch the 7. Note the number 5 is a gelding, and Brian put together an early pick 5 ticket.
Yeah, $8. There we go.
$8. I love it.
And we got a spread here in the opening leg. I'd like to think we'll get through this one, and then we go 7-1 in race 2. Don't you know it? With a strong favorite down inside 1, Identity. There's the single in race 3, Magical Mirage. We're on the turf today. That's as Ronnie alluded to. 8-4 in race 4, Moonrock on the outside. I'm going to get Claudio Gonzalez, high percentage trainer from the Mid-Atlantic from Laura. I'm going to get him a couple wins today. The single, my best bet of the day, Hatari for Jonathan Thomas.
Hatari, Jonathan Thomas, Luis Saez in the saddle. Race number 1, I started with the number 4 horse in here, and that's a Slow Gin Biz, who I think you have a video to show.
I do, and this is the race 2 back now at Charlestown. When you go 4.5 at Charlestown, you got to be up close early, and you're going to see Slow Gin Biz. He's going to make first run into 2 giant long shots, and he's going to end up paying the price a little bit late because the winner is going to, there's World of Fools, who you see is odds on. So he's going to make first run. He's going to get nipped a little bit. I thought it was a pretty solid effort. He got floated out a little bit as well as the 6 horse here kind of in the middle of the track. I thought it was a sharp effort, Ron. I think that race, because let's get by the Tapeta race last time here at Gulfstream, I think that race was pretty solid. I think it puts him in the mix here. I'm not a huge weight person, but with the 10-pound apprentice, we get 10 pounds from the rest. That's significant.
And she looks good on a horse.
Yeah.
She doesn't look bad on a horse. So I'm going to show you a stat on Mr. Claudio Gonzalez. So 50% drop in claiming price in sprints. He's 44 for 128, so a big sampling, 34%, 65% in the money. 180 is his return of investment, so good stat there. For all the reasons Brian mentioned, I put this one on top. The number 1, Regal Holiday, is making his local return after rallying to finish second in a pair of $16,000 sprints up at Tampa. The last at this same 5.5 furlong distance. The colt will reap the spoils if Slow Gin Biz does another, swan dive through the stretch.
Yeah, very early in the betting, but I look up at 6-5. I mean, Irad's riding for Steve Dye, so I mean that's the angle here. A very low percentage barn, but here's Irad off the Tampa form. This horse does figure is going to try to wire this field.
The number 9, UU Star, is actually the morning line favorite. It is going back to the main track. Followed the second at this level of distance on the dirt, with another second on the all-weather surface last time.
Yeah, the Tapeta run was a lot faster than the dirt run. The dirt run 2 back was relatively slow in the grand scheme of things. I know the third-place finisher did come back to win. That bodes well. We are lightly raced. I like the post here, too. But I like Slow Gin Biz and Regal Holiday a little better.
Let's go to race number 2. This one is about 5 furlongs on that all-weather surface. Allowance state-bred fillies 3-year-olds. No scratches in this race. Not a lot of scratches on the card, of course, as we we always mention, Peter Aiello will be updating you with all that stuff when we are done here. And you went with the number 7, Don't You Know It Now, in the Mike Tomlinson barn.
Yeah, we're outside. We've got plenty of Tapeta experience up at Presque Isle Downs. Obviously, it's a different all-weather surface, but it is still the Tapeta up there. The layoff, it doesn't really bother me. I know the barn is winless at the meet, but the horses are running. You see 7 underneath finishes from 11 starts. We get some Lasix, and Jose Ortiz is here as well. And I think, to me, that signals a lot of intent that it's go time today.
Yeah, the 4th place finish in the $75,000 Presque Isle debutante sort of thinks this horse has a touch of class. I did go to the inside horse, One Identity, who's stepping up to face winners on this surface after drawing clear to win her career debut on the dirt by 4+ lengths. Eddie Plesa Jr., Paco Lopez, inside drawer. I think he's going.
And both Don't You Know It and One Identity have yet to run in the Florida bred rank, so that's significant too. That debut was really, really sharp because she did it the hard way. She took pressure throughout and still ran off. I think that's positive. Paco's going to have her on a send mission down inside.
The number 4, Shoot Like a Girl, is stepping up after parlaying a 4-wide late drive into a debut victory, going this distance on the all-weather surface for Mark Cassie. I found the stat. Winner last out on Tapeta in sprint races. He's 34 for 138, 25%, 57% in the money, 165. You can see these stats were, of course, built mostly with running up at Woodbine on their Tapeta surface. So it does a good job. I think these are logical through. Do you go with the inside with a good outside stalking trip of the number 7? Hey, we're on the turf. Race number 3 this afternoon, and for some reason we got 2 scratches in here of 2 and 4, which I couldn't figure out, but it didn't affect me.
Nope.
I had the 6 Magical Marriage on top, who's going to face state-bred competition at a mile and a 16th after showing promise on the turf up north, which includes that nose defeat, which I'm keying off against maiden special 8 runners going a mile on the Meadowlands turf for Pat McBurney, and he reunites this gelding with Paco Lopez, who was in the irons that day when he got beaten. It was at the Meadowlands.
And I think that's significant. And you look at his last 2 turf races, they're just better than these. A class drop as well. Big buyers, ran a 9 on the Thoroughgraphs, 2 back at the Meadowlands. And I like that you noted Paco was aboard that day. I think that's a big positive.
The number 1 Bunker Hill, who you have in second, is listed as a gelding debuts for Jimmy Toner. Inconsistent campaign on the New York turf circuit while in Barclay Tagg's barn. Son of productive sire, Warfront. They love Warfronts on the grass. MSCL Jaramillo. Always respect the work that Jimmy Toner does.
Yeah, Joe Allen homebred here, and the post today is just so much better than last time at Saratoga. Voided claim, little dicey there, but the layoff, at least we've got it. There's a bullet here. Jimmy does such a good job in the gelding angle too.
I want to talk about the number 7, just briefly, Starlight Walker, who's debuting on the turf after chasing the eventual winner of that race in his 7 furlong debut on the main track. Got a stat on David Fawkes with Starlight Walker. Maiden's 2nd time out over the past year. He's 7 for 17, 41%, 65% in the money, 280s that return investment. I'm guessing this is pumped up by the great job he's been doing on the all-weather Tapeta.
Yeah, I agree, but that's just a huge stat there. And David, from basically midsummer on, has just been firing at 20, 22, 24% with basically everything he's done. Luis Saez rode on debut. This horse took a lot of money on debut. Now we go from 7 sprinting on the dirt right out to 2 turns. You kind of wonder if maybe this was the plan all along.
Yeah, and David, one of my favorite angles over the years before we had the all-weather surface or anything. 2nd star for David Fawkes was always something that you want to look at. We take a short break. We come back. Rainbow 6 ticket will be up for me in just a couple of moments.
And they're off. 2nd in the 2-path. Ground off first inside. Racing. A quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 on top. Last of the 12, as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today, Ron and Brian. The fourth race this afternoon, about 5 furlongs on the all-weather. Tipita, claimers, fillies and mares, 4 and up, non-winners of 3 in life. Clean slate. Let's look at that Rainbow Six ticket I was alluding to, and it is $43.20. Got lots to get the old reverse pyramid this afternoon. 3 deep in race 4. We'll talk about it. Also, race 5 today, my long shot is in there. That's the number 9, Yukayo. Kelsey Danner going to try and beat Hatari in that spot. And 3 deep in race number 6, wide open affair with Klugman, Garami Supidis, and Cry Macho in race number 7. That's where I only go 2 deep. I like Traves. Shall return for Gerald Bennett. Race 8, Alika Star is my best bet of the day. I think this horse was so impressive last time out. Going to try and beat Domineer. And in the last, it's all about Eagle Chief for me, but I used American Great, who faced better on the turf out there on the West Coast. So that is 43-20 for me. Fourth race, as I mentioned, about 5 on the Tipita. You have the number 8 horse, I believe, on top of your ticket, and that is Moonrock.
Yeah, so we're going to show a video here of Moonrock. There's not a lot going on here. It's just a horse winning easily on the front end. But the point being, okay, this is this horse's only start on turf. Now, we are on the Tipita today, but you've heard Ron and I talk quite a bit. If you handle the turf, theoretically, you might handle the Tipita. And the thing I like about Moonrock, too, is A, the speed you see here, but B, yes, she hasn't done any running in her last 3 starts, but she's kept her speed in those 3 starts. And here she is running off today. Now she gets back on the Tipita. She's only going a snappy 5 furlongs here. If she's not loose in here, she's pressing from the outside. Either way, I think that trip works in here, Ron. And you saw it. I just feel like maybe she's getting back to what she's wanted to do all along, that sprint on the turf / Tipita. Again, it's Claudio Gonzalez. If you're not familiar with him, he's got, I believe, 5 training titles up at Laurel. He does a heck of a job. He's going to win races here this winter.
Hector Berrios in the saddle. I did go with the number 4 in here, American Tapper, who you have in second, is going to face non-winners of 3 lifetime competition at the 12-5 level after debuting locally and defeating those 20 non-winners of 2 lifetime runners going 5 on this surface. This is a class jump. This is not a class down. You see 20 and you see 12-5. This is 3 lifetime. It's the biggest jump you can make as far as class-wise when you're dealing with these claiming type horses. But I still think this horse will run well with for Marcassi, Rafael Hernandez atop this daughter of Tapichura.
Yeah, and it was the class drop last time that really woke her up, because you look at her races in November and December up at Woodbine on their Tipita, and they were not pretty. But she gets down to 22 L's, wakes way up. As you alluded to, though, she's meeting a lot tougher today. She has a regression possibility off such a big win, so I think you have to use her. I used her defensively.
Well, what about the number 1, Daddy's Joy? I have a little further. Oh, we both have in third in here, and that's going to depart from the rail. If they're breaking from the outside, rallied to finish third behind a horse we'll talk about in a moment, Red Wind. Safi, Tyler.
Well, there you go. Safi and Tyler, designed by Kitten, who won that race last time. Is she back today, or maybe it's tomorrow? She's all right. So that's a decent race this one comes out of. But the down inside is tricky, and I'm not positive which way she's going, because you look at her last 2 races, they've definitely been a little bit slower than her other races on the turf and on the Tipita.
Well, the 6 Red Wind, who I mentioned, finished in front of Daddy's Joy, has been knocking on the door in consecutive races against this same level. Just needs that little push from Lady Luck to end up in the winner's circle. Antonio Sano, Junior Alvarado in the saddle. I'm interested in your number 8. I'm going to go back and look at that horse again in race number 4. The 5th race today, about 7.5 furlongs. These are on the turf, of course, on the turf today. Starter optional claim of fillies 3-year-olds started for 35 or less, or the tag of 35,000. No scratches, no jockey changes. Let's see your ticket.
Yeah, we're dueling here, because I've got my best bet of the day here in Hatari. We'll show that replay, and then I get a little spready throughout. 6-5 in race 6, and you're going to pronounce that name. I am not. The deepest spread of the day is in race 7, and I'm basically using anyone with any kind of form. The top pick is right down inside, but shall return. 8-5 in race 8. My long shot play today is Cozy Dreams. There is so much speed in that race. I'm hoping it falls apart. Nobody scratched out either. And then in race 9, no strong opinion. I go with number 6, Sonic Speed, a stab for John Kimball, Jose Ortiz on top.
Well, let's start it off with your single in here, and that is Atari's turning back today to the about 7.5 on the turf.
Best bet of the day for me. We'll show this replay too, and she just gets floated really wide. You can't be wide and lose ground on the turns on the Tampa turf. It's just not going to work out for you. And she gets pushed wide. As here you see the George Strawbridge colors with the pink cap actually coming into your focus here. She's going to be widest. She's the number 8 horse, and I thought she ran on nicely. Here's the other thing too, Ron. She was facing winners last time for the first time. Now she's got that under her belt today, whereas you look through this field, and I'm counting no fewer than 6 horses in this group that are now stepping up and facing winners today. It's a big class drop, as you know. I think she's got that behind her. I think she's really tough in here. Your gal, Yukayo, one of the ones facing winners. Kelsey Danner, 4 for 11 off the claim, huh?
Yeah, moves to the Kelsey's Bond. After the claim debuts in the turf, she used her speed to defeat those 35 maidens going a mile 70 on the yards. Here's that stat he was alluding to. Kelsey Danner, first after the claim, all surface, just over the past year, 4 for 11, 36%, 55%, 252 is the return of investment. I could have cut that down to 6 months because she's been doing that good claiming just recently. And, to get Junior Alvarado, I just like the way he rides the turf course. So I thought looking for a shot in here. Of course, Atari for all the reasons you went. And then I went with the number 4 horse in here. Vexed and Relaxed, who you have a little further down, who broke a maiden on the Aqueduct turf, is going back to the grass today. She tracked the action and finished a distant third against 50 starters, going that mile 70 on the Tapita for Mr. Mike Maker, and I think that Arad is going to take some money in this race.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, if you like this horse, unfortunately, you're probably going to get 2 or 3 points less than you should. It's Mike Maker. It's Mike Dubb with the pink and yellow. Irad's here too, and you're right. Getting back to the turf won't hurt her.
What about the other horse you have in second? Number 6 horse in here, and what is Eiswein?
Eiswein will go. We'll call her, I guess, the other Kelsey Danner.
Yeah.
I don't know. We had Lasix here.
Yeah.
Solid turf form here at this level, and against a little bit better. Kelsey took her up to Tampa. Didn't really work out. She was an okay 4th, but now I think she's back with her friends. She's back in a spot where she's not going to be up for a claim. I think that's good. She hasn't risked this one for a claim, so she's in the mix here at a nice price.
Great way to start
Yes.
the late pick 5 this afternoon. Really nice race. Race number 6 this afternoon. 6 furlongs, maiden special weight, state bred 3-year-olds. We did have a couple of early scratches in there. The 1, Poseidon Sun, and the number 3 horse in there. So 1 and 3 have been declared out of the race. And I'll start it off here with the number 5, Klugman, who's stretching out to 3/4 of a mile after rallying to finish second in front of a pair of next out winners. You knew I was going there. I thought it was a promising 5.5 furlong debut. So I went and checked a stat on Mr. Eddie Pleaster Jr. Second start, sprints in the dirt. He's 11 for 51, 22%, 47%, and in the money with 236 return investment over the last 5 years. So I went with the number 5, Klugman, over Agata Mi Supides. I phonetically wrote it.
You know what? I'm looking at that right now, and you got it all spaced out there. Yeah, I'm going to call her the 6 horse. But, Klugman, Klugman ran well on debut. If I have to nitpick a little bit, and I've got him in second, I moved him up with the scratches. Gloucester didn't come back and run that well last time, but you alluded to it. There's a couple next out winners, so it was a very live race.
Yeah. The number 7 horse is where we've basically got the same super boxed around. Cry Macho cutting back to 6 panels after tracking the action. Sort of finished that so-so 5th against state-bred foes. Going 7/8 for Undine Londano Jr. Jose Morales, just a horse I think that you'll use with the 4 and the 7, maybe a little further down on the ticket.
Yeah, I think the gap between the 6 and the 5 or the 5 and the 6, whoever you fancy, is a big one to the rest of these.
Let's go to race number 7 this afternoon, and this one is about 5.5 furlongs on the all-weather surface. A starter optional claimer, fillies and mares, 4 years old and up that started for 10 or less, or the optional tag of 16. Jockey change on the 7, make the rider Alan Marat. There's about 600 Marats around here, and this one is Alan riding today. Big family, great people. I'm telling you that right now. You went with the number 1 horse in here, Shall Return, for Mr. Gerald Bennett.
Yeah, and ironically, we're going to try to get Paco to come from off the pace here because there's a lot of speed in here. I got 4 or 5 horses in here that want to mix it up early. Paco's down inside. We can settle a little bit. He's got a Tapita race up at Presque Isle Downs where he was a solid enough third. Ran a number that day that fits with these. And I think Paco, if he just lets them settle, lets the speed go, he's going to have a chance here from off off the pace at what should be a square number. I see you found this horse too.
Yeah, and you know the number 5 Traverse, who we just have our exacta flip-flop, a game winner at this level and distance. Now that was 2 starts back, drops a notch, duel for lead, as you mentioned, with a lot of speed in this race. Finished third, beaten less than a length against those 20 starter allowance runners going 5. 4 Laura Cesaris and Leonel Reyes handling a mini stretch out to about 5.5 furlongs.
Traverse was on the Golden Dead rail that time. You know. The rail was not good on the Tapeta. He was down inside there. So I do think it's going to be beneficial. He gets off the rail today. I just 6 to 5. I don't really disagree with the morning line. I just think he's going to be an underlaid price, and I find him a little tough to trust.
Yeah, 6 to 5 is too low, I think. But you know, I can understand it. There's once again, these are the top 2. Then you can go. I went with Lawn Dot in third, who's open to stretch her speed to the wire. There's another horse that's going to be up on the pace. You know, she weakened to finish third against those 8 dated claimers, going 5.5 on the all-weather for Mr. Gerald Brooks. Jose Ortiz certainly. Figures that with this horse penciled in today for the return riding assignment.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's a horse that's going to be involved throughout, but as I alluded to, there's a lot of them. And here's Designed by Kitten. I mentioned her earlier. She's in with a chance here, too, because she can settle a little bit for Kent Sweezy.
Let's go to race number 8 this afternoon. And this one is a 6 furlongs allowance optional claimer for state bred fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up. The optional tag is $12,500. And you started it off with the number 8 Cozy Dreams, who's stretching out today after returning from the layoff.
Yeah, and we've got the replay last time, too. And you know, you're going to see this race. She's the 2 horse. She's not even in your picture here. And she's the only closer to make a real dent in here. She's still not in the picture now. She's going to funnel through there. Thank you, guys. Well done. And she's going to get up for second. That was going 5.5. Domineer. Here's Domineer getting loose and clear and running off. Well, she runs well to be second. Now she gets the extra half furlong. And, you know, you like Electra Star, right? I mean, there is so much speed in here, Ron. I just think... Man, your horse might win the battle. I don't know if she can win the war, though, and that's where I'm coming up with an off the pace. I got to have a long shot here. This is her at a square number to mow them all down in the lane.
Well, I was just so enamored with Electra Star's performance. She makes a 4-year-old debut today, the first start since that really head-swirling maiden special weight career debut. She rocketed clear to win it by 14.5 lengths from Mike Yates. I used every everything I can use in there, every little mark. This one is the daughter of Majestic Profession, working consistently on the return. I got the head swirling in there. I got it all in there because I was enamored with that performance.
Yeah, it's a lot of superlatives.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Who knows what you're going to get today? I mean, she was freakish on debut. Haven't seen her since. I think that's a little worrisome. But, boy, if she runs her race, Ron, they're going to know she's in here. That's for sure.
Yeah, Mike Yates just does a fantastic job. You alluded to the number 7 Domineer stretching out to 3/4 of a mile. Responded in that first race after the claim by Jose D'Angelo, one of the angles we've been following all winter here. Front-running score against those state breds. As you mentioned, more speed in this race. But who's in the irons? Leading jock Louis Sayers going for 2 in a row.
Yeah, and he's drawn well to be outside the other speed, so I think that's beneficial. Foxy Lady, I'll quickly mention, who's, you know, slower than some of these on paper, but she's got IRAD, and she's another one that'll take advantage of the flow today.
And just a little note here, the 8th race today is where the Stronach 5 is going to start this afternoon. We're actually leading it off today. We'll talk about that in the lightning round. I just wanted to mention that right there. So pretty tough way to start the Stronach 5 there. You know, if you go with a closer, do you go with speed? The finale today, love it. It's on the turf. It's a 1-mile maiden claimer, 4 and up, 25,000. Did have an early scratch of the number 2, the Zip Factor. Eagle Chief for me. Let's go with yours. This was a long shot of yours, the 6.
Yeah, I mean, one of the ones.
Yeah.
I don't know. I respect Eagle Chief, and I get it, and I've got him as an A, and I've got him in second. I don't trust him, though, Ron. He's 0 for 12 with 6 underneath finishes. Mike Maker hasn't been able to get anything out of him off the claim. So here's Sonic Speed. You know, John Kimmel reaches for a New York Rider, and Jose Ortiz. His horses run twice on the turf. Both of them were at 1 turn. They weren't terrible efforts at all. Now we stretch out. We got Tisnell on the bottom of this pedigree. He's only run 4 times overall on the grass. The 2 you see there were, like I said, were not bad at all. maybe he's a fresh new face in a race where I think you're allowed to look that way.
Yeah, it's a good way to go that way. You're going to be rewarded 12 to 1 on the morning line. Eagle Chief, is going to take all the money, drops to the 25 level. And I think that's what's key. Shipped in from California, finished that late running second against the 40 maiden optional claimers, going a mile on the turf. So Mike Maker, Tyler Gaffleone, gelding second start from the rail. I'm expecting a continued improvement, maybe because of the drop.
Claim for 52 back, runs for 40 last time. Was a good second, solid second. Now he's in for a quarter. There's reasons to tread lightly here. I agree, though. This is the horse to beat.
The number 5, American Great, who faced better on the turf out in California, is going back to the grass after ending his 2020 campaign with a third-place finish against 30 maidens. That was going that mile on the Turfway all-weather track. Mark Cassie, Louis Sayers handling the geldings' return to action. So just keying off those races in California.
Yeah, they were a month better than this group here. So this is a big class drop. He ran okay last time up on the poly at Turfway. Getting back to the turf today is really going to help him.
And number 7, Ravon.
Maiden special weight dropper, right? Didn't run poorly last time for Cheryl Weinbaugh, in for 40. Now we drop again. Wasn't that far behind Eagle Chief. We've talked about this barn, sneaky in winning races here.
Yeah, and that's how we see that's 9-race card. Now we're going to go to our lightning round and try and put it together. So he will take charge this afternoon.
Last night, the Eclipse Awards out in Los Angeles. Arcacia Courtney was there with a few of the others hosting, and we crowned a lot of champions, and a couple of them were front and center right here at Gulfstream Park. None more so than Horse of the Year Nick Go, running off and winning the Pegasus last year.
Yeah, last year. Just so great. We get to see him again this year. Just to be able to see these horses this year, and then incredible performance coming back, and that was his final race this year. We got to see. So congratulations to all the connections, and what a great race mare.
Yeah, and here's Latruska now. This is December 12th of 2020. You see it up there winning the Rampart here. But this is where she got going, and this is really what started her championship campaign of last year. Fausto Gutierrez, who's now down here this winter as well, and we hope to see her later this winter too.
Yeah, we hope so. She's back. He says she's doing fantastic. And then, as we mentioned a couple of times today, we have the Stronach 5, right?
Yeah, I want to mention Cece too. She won
that's right, yeah.
Our Princess Rooney winner, and she went on to win the Breeders' Cup filly and mare sprint and got the hardware last night. So kudos to Michael McCarthy and her connections as well, a homebred. But as you mentioned, we'll go beat the expert first, and I am in the hot seat tomorrow. It's not an easy day.
Yeah, you'll beat the expert, and it's not an easy day to do it, but we'll see if Brian can get it and get some. If he doesn't, you can play absolutely free, and you got a chance to get the brand new Beat the Expert polos that we saw.
Yes, we have them.
I was wearing it today.
Yeah.
I was going to wear it on the air, but I got to wear this tie, so I couldn't wear it on the air. So I'm going totally out of order. You take it.
Now, the All-Star ticket is personal with you because A, you're a part of it. B, you were a part. Here it is here for the Stronach 5. You and the group hit for what, $4,900?
$4,900. Let's hope we can do it again. Of course, Frank Miramati out there in California. Just a great group, and maybe we can do it for $54 today.
Best bet there is, right? $1 minimum, 12% takeout. What is it? Overlay City, as the man upstairs likes to say.
And he's not wrong about that. It's paid fantastically. And sometimes you have like one horse pays $12 and it pays $3,000.
Blows it right out. So get involved. As Ronnie said, it kicks off here with our 8th race. That's 4:11 in the p.m. And last but not least, the El Camino at Golden Gate Field's going to offer some Derby points on the line tomorrow. Yeah,
that's great. We don't give enough props to this time of the year to our sister track out there in Northern California. And like you said, this is part of the Derby Trail. We'll see how it plays out. So we'll see how it is. 10, 4, 2, and 1.
Yep, and we've got a couple stakes here tomorrow as well. The Grade 3 with Gear Jockey returning in the sprint race tomorrow for Rusty Arnold off the Breeders' Cup. So a lot to look forward to, not only here, but around the rest of our tracks too.
I remember the first time I came to Gulfstream, it was like this big fairy tale place.
We back.
Northern Dancer, winner of the Florida Derby.
Yeah.
All the history, all these great horses, trainers, jockeys.
It is Barbaro to the final furlong. He is a neck in front. Barbaro wins!
It was everything that I ever dreamed of.
Sunday silence surges to the front.
First day, opening day of championship meet, I was kind of starstruck. You're watching LeBron James And then next thing you know, you're playing basketball against them. That's how I felt when I'm riding with Johnny V, riding with Irad, Luis.
So many famous people come. Post Malone, Pharrell, J-Lo was there. It's epic.
The weather is beautiful. The facility is phenomenal.
It's all about Knicks Go. Knicks Go makes it 4 in a row.
It's one of the most beautiful tracks in the country, surrounded by some of the greatest horses and riders. It's amazing.
I'd always had a really deep love of animals. When I started riding, I felt that instant connection. It was this horse, Siren, that she was a thoroughbred, she'd been on the racetrack. It really shaped me growing up because I had to learn how to be confident, but I also had to be compassionate. And she really was that first love I had of a horse.